Hey guys, I finally did it. I finally edited a whole video without ever using any editing software like DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, CapCut or After Effects. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I did it. So the video we're talking about is actually the last video right here I uploaded to our YouTube channel. Maybe you've seen it. Odds are you didn't. Why am I doing this again? Okay, let's look at the result first. So in this video, since I'm seriously using AI, we got this nice opening animation, the swoosh sound. We got subtle business. I haven't hired subtle zoom in and out effects. It's color graded. We got the subtitles right here. We got some B-roll, as I can show you, to the work itself. Picture a time before excavators existed. Before then, people dug holes with shovels. Then excavators came, but digging didn't disappear, which is actually AI generated, by the way. We got some motion graphics before it goes out. And the assembly line just keeps getting faster and faster until it's impossible to catch everything. That's not real progress because now the human... Yeah, so this is the result and now I'm gonna show you how it's done. The first step, ask ChatGPT. I basically described to ChatGPT what I needed and let it look up if there are any useful resources I can use for this, so I don't have to build everything from scratch myself. The first thing it found was this video use GitHub repository by browser use, and it also said I should use Remotion, which is an open source tool for the AI generated premium motion graphics. So this is the GitHub repository I've used. I'm gonna link everything in the bio, and then I basically used this chat, which is pretty long, as you can see, to write every single prompt I pasted into Codex. Codex is the desktop agent based on ChatGPT, and I used it to actually work locally on the files. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I did, I said, all right, set up this GitHub repository for me. I just pasted the link right here. And what's actually also needed for that is an 11 Labs API key. I hopefully don't forget to blur it afterwards. Quick reminder to myself. And yeah, that's free, so you can just generate one. And then I jumped straight into the editing process. In the folder I wanted to work in, I dropped the raw footage and the exact script I used for the video, and basically said to the AI, all right, here it is, do your magic. Let me actually show you what we are working with here. So this is the raw footage. Yeah, I should maybe get a new chair. But as you can see, well, just the colors aren't as nice. The beginning must be cut. There are some mistakes in there that I wanted to cut out. And what actually also bothered me was that my head is not really centered. You can see it, like the play button here is actually in the center of the screen and my face is a bit to the left. So that's why I recorded in 4K, because I knew that maybe I haven't perfectly placed the camera. And I just wanted to crop it afterwards. So that's one of the things I wanted to do with the AI in the editing process. All right, so after I just dropped the raw footage into the folder, the AI came up with a proposed editing strategy. I basically approved of that, gave it a few directions for the editing style, and then it came up with this right here. Since I'm seriously using AI in my business, I haven't hired a single new person. So as you can see, the beginning is cut perfectly from the timing. The colors still don't look great. My face is still not centered. And I think there were a few mistakes in there. I think like around 320 maybe. So AI gets this done reliably. If I need a new web. Yeah, so there's a pretty big pause in there where you hear me breathing. I just wanted that to be cut out. I basically feedbacked all of this, as you can see here in this really long prompt that I haven't written myself. And then it gave me another review, preview, whatever. There were still some issues in there. The face basically was still not centering. Then it gave me a few preview files, like actual pictures for the final check before it would do another render. I can't show you these files right now because I've already deleted them to free up some storage. There were some little details that still needed work, but it was already much, much better. And one thing I also wanted the AI to add were some subtitles. Then it dropped this final file here. Let me open that quickly. Since I'm seriously using AI in my business, I haven't hired a single new person. So as you can see, the transition in the beginning, since I'm seriously is there with a clean swoosh kind of sound that I really like. My face is centered. The colors look much better right now. And if I skip through, you can see it also added some subtle zoom in and out effects that just make the whole video look much more professional and better. That's also a thing I feedbacked. And I was actually kind of baffled when I saw this because it's ready. I didn't really think the AI was like capable of getting a video to a 100% result that I can basically upload now, but that's what it did. I thought, all right, it maybe gets it like 80-90% ready, but surely I'm gonna have to import the final file to DaVinci Resolve and cut out some mistakes myself. But no, this with the subtitles, I think in the subtitles there were like maybe 1 to 2 little punctuation mistakes. But basically this video looks great. Only thing that we're missing right now are motion graphics and B-roll. So that's what I went on to. So I started the, like I called it, enhanced visual phase and wanted the AI to create a visual overlay plan. That's what it did. And I think it wasn't bad, but the descriptions of the AI were surely not great. Like they were too vague, and I already know from experience, like when the AI produces something that isn't really described precisely, it can't get to a good result. So that's why I feedbacked it. And I also said, all right, now install Remotion. I want to move on to generating motion graphics, etc. Then I basically approved this plan, and it came up with some not really great motion graphics. It was basically every motion graphic was the same. It was just a card that appeared in the top right corner of the video and was filled with text. And that was the same for every motion graphic in the video. So then I gave it some nice feedback. And then it came up with this pictures right here. So for 3 different graphics, it gave me the start, middle, and end of this graphic. And I actually liked what I saw right here, right? So this, and this right here looked much better also, like with the icons. I liked it much more. And then I basically said, all right, big step in the right direction, fix this stuff. And then what I actually saw was that I wanted to keep the subtitles, right? But I also wanted this kind of dark, blurred effect. So you don't focus on my face, you focus on the motion graphics where they appear, and it just gives it a more professional look. And there I thought it was smart and just kind of blurred or darkened the top 3/4 of the video, and the lower quarter I just left as it was, so the subtitles won't get blurred, right? So this was something I had to fix later on. So that's a mistake to not add the subtitles just in the final step right here. Then at some point we got that fixed, but then the audio was out of sync, all right? Later that also cost me some time and nerves to do that. But I first wanted to move on to the B-roll generation plan. For the B-roll, I used the key.ai API. I basically set it up with, I think, $5 worth of tokens and said use VO 3.1 for the generation in full HD. And then it generated some B-roll. So that was, I think, the first video it created. That was when I was talking about like an excavator analogy, how before excavators existed, you had to dig a hole with a shovel, and then excavators came, and basically then someone could do 10 or 20 times more in a fraction of the time. Like if you want the whole context, just watch the video. Yeah, so this is basically completely AI generated. I thought this was good. What the hell? Right. So then I wanted it to add a transition to the video, like I've shown you. And then we moved on to the next B-roll. Then we got to the part where the AI suddenly started giving me some previews with completely out of sync audio tracks. So later I understood it was basically taking the audio from one file and the video base from another file. And that's why it was completely out of sync. But yeah, I'm not gonna go in detail through this. Then it came up with a new master file, which was kind of the one I approved first, but just since I'm seriously using AI without the subtitles, yeah, then it gave me a few more preview files that didn't really were synced. Then we ran into some technical issues with the key.ai API, but that was actually my fault because I had to change some settings right there. Then we finally got another B-roll candidate, and then we landed here with the full enhanced render. So this is basically the final video you can see on YouTube right now. Since I'm seriously using AI in my business, I first question your business about how it provides context, reviews the result, and AI handles. Yeah, I mean, you can see for yourself. Just watch the video if you want to know what the AI came up with in the end. And that's basically it. The rest of the chat I spent making sure to actually preserve this workflow so I can use it in the future. I think I'm still gonna refine it a bit. Maybe I'll make another video on that in a few weeks, but that's basically it. It's not that hard. It's just time consuming to set it up for the first time, but that's the price you pay for actually saving a lot of time later on. I hope this was helpful. Leave a like and a comment, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one.